last night during the ESPYs, it was announced that we, meaning you and ESPN, have raised $100 million for the V Foundation in the fight against cancer. That is an amazing achievement. So thank you to everyone for your support. And please know we are not giving up until we win this fight. All right, let's transition back to what we've been talking about really all show, and that's free agency and the NBA and what's going on there. Let's talk about the moves that have been made in the offseason. Will, what would you say is the most overrated move so far?
Well, as you pointed out a moment ago, I mean, how many different All-Stars switch teams this offseason? 5 different All-Stars. So which one do I think has the least impact on the outcome of this next season? The one that I don't fully understand. So which one is most overrated? It's Jimmy Butler to the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat aren't in a situation where that roster is competing for a title. I understand who Jimmy Butler is. I understand how good Jimmy Butler is. I also, by the way, know the trouble that has followed Jimmy Butler at not one, but at least 2 different locations. So the Heat, in a sign and trade, decide now is their window, now is their time to go in on a star in his prime. Why? What about Jimmy Butler makes sense for the Miami Heat? I look at this roster, Justice Winslow, Kelly Olynyk, Goran Dragic, and I'm thinking that's not beating the Celtics. That's not beating the Sixers. That's not beating the Bucks. Now you could build from the ground up. You can build your assets. You can put together a team like the Nets did or the Clippers did that were scrappy teams and then brought in your free agent. Or you can do this, which is I don't understand what this model is. This is bring in a star that doesn't quite fit everybody else on your roster. And what? What is your best hope? Use him as a lure to bring in somebody else? Maybe grab Russell Westbrook? I still don't see how you pull off that deal. Brian, when I add it up, I just don't see how Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat make a ton of sense.
I don't know how you put Jimmy Butler in the same statement with the word overrated. And I understand maybe you're looking at the Miami Heat, but when I look at Miami, I look at Spoelstra, a guy that I competed against, well, he coached and I played against for a long time and I have a deep respect. I'm looking at Pat Riley. I'm looking at now the opportunity that Russell Westbrook becomes available and is now on the market to come out and actually join. So I don't see anything overrated about it. As we talked about earlier.
What is that? Jimmy Butler right now, no Russell Westbrook. What is that in the East? What is that Miami Heat team?
It's a playoff
team.
6
seed?
It's a
7th
playoff
seed?
team. They make the playoffs. And I understand your challenges. Your challenges contending. And what's funny to me.
Hey, by the way.
Hold on.
This isn't an East that's wide open. This is an East where you have a real chance to contend. And you just said Jimmy Butler to the Heat adds up to a playoff team.
What's funny to me, you're the same guy that comes on national TV on your little radio show and says you hate and out of your mouth, you hate that Jimmy Butler chose a team without a star. So for you, Will, I have no idea what side are you on, super team or not. You like Jimmy Butler or not? Make your mind up.
So I understand how these things get difficult for you because all the ideas blend together at some point. But
Jimmy Butler wants to be the sole star on a team. A well-coached organization who won championships.
Let's sort through.
I want to know why, Will.
The fuzziness. Let's sort through the miscommunication.
Talking about your beard?
Let's sort through. Wow. Let's sort through your inability to distinguish these ideas. Never said Jimmy Butler was overrated. Don't do that. Don't spin that.
Don't even say it the correct way then. Because the question, what'd you say?
What's the most overrated move so far in the offseason?
It's your reading comprehension skills that are at question here, not whether or not Jimmy Butler's overrated. I never said Butler's overrated. I'm not saying that now. It's the move to Miami. I also didn't say that I begrudge Jimmy wanting to play in Miami. I didn't say.
What's your problem? What's your problem then? Stop throwing stuff out. What's your problem then?
Keep listening, and maybe that'll help you connect the dots.
You said a lot, and I haven't heard nothing. You talked a lot already. As a matter of fact, you started the segment, Will. So what are you talking about?
This is your problem because you can't hear when you talk. Right? Mouth makes sounds, ears don't hear sounds. The thing is, I don't begrudge Jimmy wanting to play in Miami. What Charlie asked, and what I'm telling you is what's the most overrated move of the offseason? And the Miami Heat pulling off a sign and trade for Jimmy Butler, sending away Jason Richardson and other young pieces to the Sixers doesn't make sense to me because I ask myself, where does that get you, Heat? It gets you to the 6, 7, 8 seed in the East and out. And is he a lure? Do you pull Russell Westbrook? I'll wait and see. But I don't see how this move advances Miami towards the ultimate goal of winning a title. Not right now. Not with the roster they have right now.
See that? I mean, obviously not this year. That's common sense, Will. That's good. Nobody questions that. But what doesn't grow on trees is clutch players. Versatility. Guys who can go out and make plays. And you talked about Jimmy Butler tearing things up in certain organizations. I assume you're talking Chicago. You're talking Minnesota. Guess what? If you don't like the truth, Jimmy Butler ain't for you because he's going to speak his mind, he's going to get on the court, and he's going to work his tail off.
What would you say is the most overrated move then? You disagree?
Yeah, I kind of like all the moves, baby. I kind of like all the moves in the NBA.
You have to have one.
Here we go.
I like players getting money. I'm going to be honest. I like guys getting money. If I had to throw out one, you want to pull me on one?
You're a player apologist. That's what you are. But you try to tell me you're a truth teller.
I'll give you one. Oh. I'll give you one.
Okay, here we go.
I am intrigued. I'm not fully sold on Brooklyn right now.
KD and Kyrie?
Sold on Brooklyn.
Wow.
I'm not fully sold on Brooklyn.
KD and Kyrie is overrated.
I'm not fully sold. I'm not all in.
Yeah,
I
support you walking away.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta performance art. This isn't acting. You gotta be kidding me.
You're all in? I'm not all in. I'm not all in.
I tell you, the Miami Heat trading for Jimmy Butler to be a 6-7 seed is overrated, and you're like, that's nuts. And then, when forced to find, look at his face. Get a close up because your ice skates are slipping. Hey, you said KD and Kyrie to the Nets is overrated.
What's your expectation?
I don't need to talk. I don't need to talk.
No.
Hey, let me ask you something, buddy. Open the big ears up of yours. What are the expectations for KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn?
This year?
They join? No, when KD's back. What are the exptions? Those two playing together.
Titles.
And if they don't get that, I don't believe it's going to happen.
You just argued that this year doesn't matter. You were talking about with future prospects, so you're
just saying,
going against what you just said.
To clarify, Charlie, once they join together, those are the expectations.
KD
I believe
and Kyrie.
the move is going to be overrated. I believe it. And also, listen, there's already stuff stirring up.
The Nets were in the position that the Heat should have been when they went for their superstar. The Nets go 10 deep. Dinwiddie, Allen, LeVert. This is a team that's ready to play. Harris, you keep going. Not unlike the Clippers. They had the base that you talked about earlier. They had a team that was a scrappy team in the playoffs. And what did they do? They were already a 6-7 seed. They added KD and Kyrie. And you call that overrated. So when they come back, they will be a favorite to win the title. When KD comes back, they will be a favorite. But that's overrated to you.
Completely.
But Jimmy Butler taking Goran Dragic. Remember the guy you put in a headlock? Goran Dragic. Remember that? Remember when you put Goran Dragic in the headlock? No? You don't remember that? Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic being a 6 seed is not overrated.
I know this isn't water polo, but being the favorite is good enough.
He lost his point. He's trying to go back to the old water polo discussion.
KD and Kyrie.
Being the favorite is good enough. If you have a guy by the name of Kevin Durant, 7 feet tall, can shoot from half court, post up, take you outside, run pick, do any and everything with the talent of Kyrie Irving, and you don't get a championship. Hold on, hear me. Clarify. Open the big ears of yours.
I'm going to be honest.
You don't get a championship. It's an overrated move. Being a favorite isn't good enough.
Is Kawhi to the Clippers overrated?
Not at all.
What if they don't get a championship? Hold on. What if they don't get a championship?
In those 3 years that they play together, if they don't get a championship, very overrated. I believe they get it.
All right, well, what do you say let's transition to the most underrated move of the offseason? Well,
so here's mine, and it looks like, because Ryan just showed me his phone, this one's changing as we speak. My most underrated move of the offseason is the Golden State Warriors getting D'Angelo Russell in a sign and trade from the Brooklyn Nets. Here's why. There was one team, there was one player that the Warriors could pull off a deal for. Yeah. It's not even about who D'Angelo Russell is to me. It's not about how he fits in to the Warriors. What it's about is they were watching Kevin Durant walk away for nothing. They were already capped out. They couldn't sign a free agent. The only way they could make this work is to do a sign and trade with Brooklyn. And Brooklyn happened to have a guy who was a restricted free agent in D'Angelo Russell. The Warriors pulled off bringing in an asset when they were staring at nothingness. And by the way, I don't know if Russell will stick around. They could trade him at the trade deadline, bring in other young assets, and they continue to build under Clay and Steph. It's a genius move.
That's a cute little move from you. I kind of like that. That wasn't bad. Good job, Will.
Okay.
Oh,
you know what I'm looking at,
He
though?
agrees with you.
I do sometimes. I mean,
This is nice. I like this.
Kemba Walker by far. Kemba to Boston. The reason that I say that, Brad Stevens can now coach again. And with all due respect, he could not coach Kyrie Irving. Kyrie was not fit to lead. And I throw that out, and I have a lot of love for Kyrie, former teammate of mine. He's got Kobe Bryant problems. Good problems to have. Arguably one of the most talented, if not the most talented player I have ever shared a locker room or played with. And the one thing with Kyrie and why I say Kobe Bryant problems, Kobe was so good that when he looks at the other guys in the locker room, when he looked at Tatum, when he looked at Rozier, he goes, hey, man, well, here's the ball. Go take over. Because I'm talented enough to do it. And when those guys had the ball in hands, they could not make the same plays that he could make. And in terms of Brad Stevens, Brad runs one of the most intricate offenses in the league. But Kyrie is so good. He goes, hey, man, why are we running those? Give me the basketball. Let me go to work. Kemba Walker in that system allows Brad Stevens to go out and coach again, allows him to make plays. Similar to what? Who? Another little guy? Isaiah Thomas, who had the Boston Celtics with the #1 seed in the East, although they didn't come out the East because of LeBron James, the king. No question there, because of LeBron James and the way they move the basketball. So I'm looking at that move, brother. Kemba Walker, by far the most underrated move.
Hey, remember when you said KD and Kyrie were overrated?
I said the move.
Because right. I know.
They don't get a title. Remember this day. We'll run this segment back.
I think we're going to see this clip later on social media.
I was just remembering when you said that.
It's overrated, baby. It is, because if they do not get a title, which is likely to not happen, that's the only reason they went there and paired up. It wasn't just to be buddies.
Okay. I do agree with you about Kemba. That is an underrated move. I think Kemba in Boston is better than Kyrie in Boston.
Those big ears are listening, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. Are they that big?
Yeah,
where's
they're,
my camera?
they're
I never really thought about them being big.
They're flopping on your one shot,
You called
baby.
my nose big. You called my ears big. You called everything big.
What about his brain?
Yeah, how about that? Kemba is.
Water polo.
Hey, we're talking about a two-time Sportsman of the Year. This is a guy who's an awesome locker room presence. Going from Kyrie to Kemba, at the very least, is of massive proportions for Boston.
We have a poll question,
clarify,
gentlemen.
You just agreed to disagree when I throw that out. They just didn't miss.
Ryan, you're gonna like this. You're gonna like this because we asked everyone to weigh in on our poll of the day. It was who runs LA. 66% said the Lakers.
Everybody's really good at looking.
Everybody's really good at looking. Who doesn't know that?
Hey, everybody's
That's
really good at looking.
common sense.
Hey, you remember a minute ago? Not when you said KD and Kyrie were the biggest overrated offseason move, but you remember when you put up my water polo picture? Remember that? You put a picture up of me.
Yeah,
Are you nervous for what's about to happen?
Let's see.
I was doing a little. Oh, check it out. Check it out. We went to Basketball Reference, right? Ryan Hollins has a Basketball Reference, and this is why. His stats were down here, right? But you got to zoom in.
Tony Allen for that nonsense.
Hold on. Come in here because you got to see this. Nickname. Look at the nickname for Ryan Hollins right there. The booty call.
For what?
Booty.
For what? This is not my nickname.
Look.